Welcome to LFN News, a production of LFN Media, bringing you the latest in celebrity news, with specific analysis to keep you in the know of what is going on around you. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. We also encourage you to share your comments in the comments section below and let us know what you think about the issue under discussion and any other issue you may want us to discuss in the future. Robert Sylvester Kelly, the American singer, songwriter, and record producer, commonly referred to as the R&B King, is presently being detained at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago, having been charged and given a 30-year prison sentence after being found guilty in New York in September 2021. On August 15, Mr. Kelly is also slated to go on trial yet again in Chicago on charges stemming from comparable accusations. R. Kelly has retained Jennifer Bonjean, the attorney who successfully had Bill Cosby's conviction reversed, and despite everything, he continues to maintain his innocence and looks forward to an appeal that would clear him of the allegations, overturning his sentence. Kelly's and Cosby's cases are largely related, and given they are handled by the same lawyer, Cosby's case could very easily set a precedent for R. Kelly's appeal. Although the actual technicalities in both cases differ, the fact that R. Kelly's case is now past sentencing means Bonjean is gonna have to pull the same strings she pulled in Bill Cosby's case if we are to see R. Kelly equally walk free, despite his 30-year sentence. A deep look into Cosby's case, therefore, could provide some insight to R. Kelly's yearning fans across the globe that are waiting with uncertainty on whether, or even when, R. Kelly will be walking out of prison free. More than 60 women had publicly accused Cosby of assault over the course of 5 decades by the end of 2015, but the only instance in which the statute of limitations for charges had not yet run out was the case of former Temple University coach Andrea Constand, in which Cosby was found guilty. This explains why prosecution chose to take the approach of racketeering in violation of the Mann Act while prosecuting R. Kelly. With allegations dating as far back as 1999, R. Kelly's case seemed even more circumstantial than Cosby's. Racketeering takes place over a period of time and is inconsiderate of expiration of legal time limits. This must have come in handy for prosecution given most of R. Kelly's alleged assaults dated way back in time. Racketeering, however, has to involve many associates. This is just one of the technicalities in R. Kelly's case that Jennifer has planned to ride on in her appeal. If she can create reasonable doubt that R. Kelly had associates in his assault allegations, then she could get R. Kelly off the hook. The Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act made racketeering a federal offense in 1970. It is a federal offense that entails the prosecution of several crimes that are committed by an enterprise as a part of an unauthorized interstate business operation. The key word here, therefore, is enterprise. Prosecution alleged in their accusations that R. Kelly was the leader of an enterprise which involves his managers, drivers, bodyguards, personal assistants and runners. Now, although prosecution was able to convince the jury that R. Kelly owned an enterprise, they may have to prove this beyond reasonable doubt in the appeal hearings, which may not be an easy task. Jennifer Bonjean's argument is there is no enterprise in R. Kelly's case, and prosecution just plotted to try and craft an enterprise, where there was not, to pass this case, but is confident the appeal court will determine and rule otherwise. Cosby's acquittal was equally based on a technicality in prosecution. The court ruled that, because Cosby gave a damning testimony in a civil case only after a prosecutor promised not to pursue a criminal case against him, Cosby's Fifth Amendment right to avoid self-incrimination had been violated by the use of that same testimony as evidence in a subsequent criminal case. Bonjean is known to approach each case where she thinks prosecution has overreached more or less the same way always. By identifying an oversight in their prosecution and zeroing down on that technicality, to turn the ruling around in a higher court. It should be noted, however, that overturning convictions is not limited to Jennifer. In the United States alone, about 1 million people are found guilty of felonies each year, and many more are found guilty of misdemeanors. About 2% of those convictions are ultimately overturned, according to Samuel Gross, a retired professor at the University of Michigan Law School. Another technicality in R. Kelly's case is around the Mann Act violations. The Mann Act was passed in 1910 and initially covered transporting a woman or girl across state lines for any immoral purpose. In the United States, it has been used in a number of instances to target people of color and people in consensual relationships. The Mann Act has been tied to many high-profile cases, including the singer Chuck Berry. It was later updated in 1978 and became gender-neutral. In R. Kelly's case, it is being charged in connection with several serious charges of alleged aggravated abuse. It is, however, also being charged in connection with misdemeanor counts of allegedly knowingly exposing some of the victims to herpes. The Mann Act is best charged with other related crimes, and racketeering is a well-known partner to the Mann Act as it helps to prove there was a commercial operation involved. In R. Kelly's case, however, the Mann Act was used to justify the alleged racketeering. R. Kelly's prosecution's deliberate strategy in pursuing the racketeering case against him was to guarantee that R. Kelly and his alleged collaborators are supposedly held accountable for alleged coordinated assault. R. Kelly's lawyer maintains that the decision by prosecution to impose racketeering charges was overreaching and completely unjust, and that they will work to overturn this in the upcoming appeal. Our position is this was not a RICO or Racketeering Act violation, Bonjean stated. These were isolated events that happened many years ago, and the government simply tried to plead around the statute of limitations to bring it in a RICO charge, which was inappropriate. She stressed. The task ahead for the R. Kelly legal team in the appeal therefore will be to prove that these were isolated events and also assure the court that there was no enterprise involved whatsoever. It can be argued that based on Bonjean's experience, it will be just a matter of time until she has convinced the appeal jury. As for when this should be expected, we can't tell. But what we can be sure of is that Jessica has pledged to put on her best fight while seeking justice for the R&B king. The same way court's decision to reverse Cosby's conviction did not make any conclusions about Cosby's guilt or innocence, it is believed that the technicalities cited by Bonjean will not be guided by R. Kelly's guilt or innocence, and this gives the case better chances of acquittal. All we can do now is wait and see how this appeal plays out, but the odds surely seem to be in R. Kelly's favor. Thank you for watching LFN News, a production of LFN Media, giving you another view of issues at hand. To get notified whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now and hit the notification icon. And remember to give us your comment on the subject matter below.